What is up, everybody? My name is Donnie. I'm a mix engineer from Baltimore, Maryland. So, a little bit about what I do. I'm hired by artists and bands to take their idea and move it sonically somewhere to where it can translate the feeling or the vibe. So, let's dive right in. This session is from an artist. Her name's Leela Dawson. She's from Annapolis, Maryland. And what Leela does is she's able to play multiple instruments. She's a very strong vocalist. And she can take an instrumental track and just pull out hooks and melodies and turn it into a hit. And that's exactly what she did in this session. But first, I want to play you what Leela was able to do on her own. And that is her demo down here. So let's give that a listen.
I've been stuck on you, waiting for you to tell me what to do. Ooh, all the things I've tried, can't get past your pride. Always pushed aside, but baby.
So, as you can hear, it is very catchy. It sounds great. However, Leela wanted to move this into a different type of aesthetic, if you will. And this song in particular is like a glamorous type of feel. To get it in that sonic light, it's like we have to move things in that direction. So, how do we do that? Well, Leela was able to record all these vocals and arrange these vocals. She has the lead vocal, another track of a lead vocal, multiple harmonies, backups, ad-libs, and they're all stacked and they're doubled. You can get in detail because everything's so individual. However, with the loop, the instrumental track, it's just a left and right channel. I'm going to play that for you so you can understand the limitations that could present. Okay, so within this instrumental, you have the beat, you have the bass, you have the synth, and you can't really do something to just the drums without affecting the synth or the bass in some way. It's a matter of compromise. So, what do? We want to take Leela and move her into this vibe that she's going for. Can we take the loop with it? Or do we try to do what we can with the loop and pull her vocals into the loop? Here's where the interesting part lies. Something called music rebalance. And music rebalance allows you to take a stereo track and isolate just a vocal, just the bass, just the percussion, and other miscellaneous things that could be in there. Does it work? I was curious. What you do is you can duplicate the track. I would rename it like loop -RX bass or something. And then you could create another duplicate, and we'll do this one as RX and vocal or something, because it would be the vocal parameter of this, right? And so on and so forth. You would just make multiple duplicates. So what you would do is you would just isolate the bass for this one. Quality, the best, preferred. And you can experiment with the separation. Like you can render it a certain way, and then render it another way and compare. You can render it, then render the render, so it's more just bass on the just bass. And you can do this and try to pull and extract elements that existed within one stereo track. So I'm going to open up this folder that I named Loop Malt. In Loop Malt lie the RX bass I came up with, excuse me, the RX vocal, RX other, and the percussion. So there's no vocals on the instrument track. However, when you use that vocal parameter, it presents something. So let's listen. Okay? Now, am I able to just get the bass from there? Let's see. Kind of. That's just the low end. What about the synth? Looks like the synth came from the vocal, right? The vocal parameter. Let's try just that. Okay. I'm very convinced. I'm like, I might be able to dissect this stuff, right? Check this out. Let's do the percussion. Okay, cool. So, and there's the other parameter, which I think we use this part for. So let's pull in the synth with the percussion and that in-betweener part, which is the other. So it should be... Okay. I'm going to go back to the original. Okay, that was just the loop here, the original loop. None of this stuff. So it's very similar, right? Maybe this stuff's even a little cleaner. Does it sound better or worse? We're not sure yet. It just sounds different. And what we're trying to do, what we're trying to achieve is flexibility. Now I'm able to process the bass on its own, right? I'm able to process the synth on its own and the other synth parts on their own, the percussion on its own, so on and so forth. So now I have individual control. So let's go to the chorus, and let's play the original loop. So halfway through, I switched. I went from the original to the malted. So you might prefer the original. You know, it's subjective right now. I'll do a little quick A-B one more time. This time I'll start with the malted, and then I'll switch to the original. At this point, I probably prefer the original still, right? Well, let's take it a step further. What other options are there? And at this time, I said we can add things. What are those things? It's just a kick, a clap, and a hat. I said, well, look, we have the original loop dissected into this malt now, right? And within that malt, you can see that the transients are much more prominent here than they are in the original loop. So now I know where the kick and the clap and the hi-hats lie. So I can layer over top of that and add these things like a kick, a clap, and some hi-hats, right? So let's give a listen. Let's do just the percussion. We'll mute that. And then I'll add the additional elements in there. Start with the chorus. Okay. So let's go back and revisit the original loop just one more time. Okay? You should have been able to hear a little bit more of a substantial difference in there of when I came out of the original and went into what we're creating on that loop. It's getting somewhere, right? It's getting juicy. After that point, I think I felt like something was missing or something wasn't translating on the speakers, and I wanted to keep the original loop in there to an extent. And now I have keep the loop, which is just like really low level. It sounds like this. All right, so we have added things. We have the original loop here. Keep the loop, and then the malt. All right, so it's going to be this one up here versus 1, 2, 3, 4 of these added together down here. Here's the original loop. Yeah, it's a shift, right? It's a shift in the direction that we want to go. But this isn't really like my ideas. This is more so Leela's ideas of where she envisions the song. It's just my job to get it there somehow, right? So now we can add her vocals in and process her vocals in a manner that exists in that realm, right? So we're kind of just having her vocals, polished and clean and glamorous, if you will, and we're pulling that loop into that realm. So let's give it a listen here in the verse and have it with the vocal. And here we go.
I've been stuck on you, waiting for you to tell me what to do. Ooh, all the things I've tried, can't get past your pride. Always pushed aside, but baby.
All right. I mean, that is presentable. Has moved the demo into a whole new feeling and a whole new energy. It's the same content. It's her vocals that she recorded at home. It's the same instrumental that she worked with. It's all the same stuff. It's just manipulating the sounds to, give it that shift. So I'll leave you with this. This is going to be the demo in the chorus, and then we'll come out of the demo and pull into the mix.
Past your pride, always pushed aside, but baby, I'm starting to get through. There's something about this feel. There's so much I'ma do when I'm over you. Don't care about loose ends, won't even tell your friends. There's so much I'ma do when I'm over you.
It's really cool. I mean, it's amazing what technology can bring. The AI is a really useful tool to dissect these elements, but fortunately, it's up to our art and our interpretation, right? Leela knows where she wants to be as an artist. I don't think the AI knows yet. I don't think it gets vibe and emotion. Maybe when that time comes, we'll be in the Skynet era, but I digress. Yeah, we're able to get it somewhere, get that energy. I think it's exciting. I think it's really cool. Maybe you do too. Let me know. All right. Thanks for watching. Looking forward to the next one.